Hello everyone! In this video, I'm going to show you 5 ways in which you can fill your sketchbook. This video is ideal for those who have just bought a brand new sketchbook and don't quite know where to start. I just want to start off by saying that the sketchbook that you're seeing in this video was actually bought for the Sketchbook Slam Challenge that I'm trying to accomplish for the month of March. And when I first initially bought the sketchbook, I didn't really pay attention to see what type of pages were actually inside and the thickness of the sketchbook or of the pages. So unfortunately, I can't actually show you any like watercolor or coloring techniques that I would normally do in sketchbooks. This sketchbook is primarily just for graphite pencil and for fine liner. The things I'm going to show you in this video are also applicable for beginners that are starting off with a new sketchbook and don't quite know where to start or what to draw. I'm just going to provide you with some key ideas, like 5 ways you can fill your sketchbook and sort of like 5 ideas on what you can do for the first 5 pages. Starting with number 1, that is of course the home page, or like the first brand new page in your sketchbook. I typically like doing a sort of title page, again depending on what type of sketchbook I'm going to do or what I'm going to be drawing as a theme in the overall sketchbook. I will tend to do a page sort of like welcoming myself or anyone else that's going to be my sketchbook, and it's sort of like sets the tone for what's to come. So in this case, it's the Sketchbook Slam Challenge. So what I wanted to do was just draw like a full body character with a little bit of background work, and then just have a title that says Sketchbook Slam March 2018. As for general ideas for like a sort of title page for your sketchbook, I would recommend playing around with colors, making it bright and colorful. You can do a full detail sketch. I really like just the idea of having like a full page that is basically filled with a full detailed sketch. I think this is really pretty and it's a really inviting way to start your sketchbook. Again, I was not able to use color because the paper is way too thin and everything would just bleed right through, but it doesn't really matter because the entire sketchbook is going to be focused primarily on graphite and fine liner anyway, so it does set the tone for basically the topic of the sketchbook. The second idea is actually really useful, especially if you're starting out a new sketchbook or you're new to drawing in general. This idea is called One Day, One Theme. It's actually something I found on the internet, and it's basically the approach where you take an inanimate object or an animated object. Oh my gosh, my English. Basically, you either take something that's living or just a kind of any sort of object like chopstick or a cup of coffee, and you basically just sketch this in as many different ways as you can. You use different colors, you use different sizes, different lengths, just different ways of sketching it, and it's pretty much just like doodling. And you can basically just fill up your pages with this object. Now the goal here is to basically have a theme every single day. So in this case, I did choose rabbits because I haven't drawn a rabbit in a very long time, and I thought it'd be really cute to just sketch my 2 babies. So I did draw them in various poses, and just basically it's just doodling. The reason why I love this exercise so much is that it forces you out of your comfort zone. So typically, you will end up drawing things that you never really thought you would draw in the first place, and you learn a lot from it. You learn in terms of composition, in terms of just drawing realistic things, and or just practicing your doodle. And here's also where it provides you with more freedom, where you can basically just sketch really fast and not really worry about if it looks bad, because you're trying something new and you want to get as many doodles out on your sketchbook. So this is a super great exercise for beginners, and it's actually something that I should probably do more often. I don't do enough of it. Another suggestion that is quite similar, rather than selecting a subject, you can also go by letters, like alphabetical letters. I know a lot of YouTubers do this, like YouTube artists. I've seen they select a letter and then they will just draw something that is starting with that letter. This is also quite nice. I've never actually tried this. I'd probably do this as a challenge in general, because I feel like this would be super challenging, because it will force you to draw different objects, different maybe animals, just things that you just typically do not ever draw. So try it out. Let me know in the comments below if you've actually tried this exercise. Let me know how it turned out for you. I would love to read your stories and if this has actually helped you develop your drawing skill. The next idea is actually drawing with ballpoint pen. A lot of you guys have asked me to do a complete video about this sort of challenge, drawing with ballpoint pens. I actually do this a lot at work, of course, because I typically only have ballpoint pens at work, and I will just doodle away while I'm in a call or like during lunchtime. I just doodle on everything, and I just literally cannot stop it. But the ballpoint pen is so much fun to play around with and to draw with. One sort of bonus to drawing with ballpoint pens is of course the fact that you cannot erase, and I know that this probably sounds weird to call it as a bonus, but it actually is, because it does help you sort of develop your skill and not have to rely on erasers so often. The best thing about ballpoint pens is also the fact that you can sketch extremely light, so you don't actually have to draw really dark lines all the time. You can actually sketch very, very lightly, and then you can go on top with a darker line with more pressure with the pen. And this is where you can really start to like carve these sort of lines to the person's face that you're drawing or the expressions. So the ballpoint pen is actually super versatile in what you can do, and this is why it's really, really fun to draw with. Another factor is simply the fact that if you have a sketchbook like I do right now, where the pages are super thin and you can't actually use any marker or any sort of watercolor to color things in, ballpoint pens you can get in all kinds of different colors, and you can really use this as an extra touch of color into your sketches. Sometimes I do like to combine my graphite drawings with ballpoint a little bit, so I will add a little bit of color with the ballpoint pen, and this just brings another dimension and just brings your drawings a little bit more to life, and it's just really fun to experiment with. For tip number 4 and number 5, they sort of go together. I'm going to first start off with number 4, and that's just drawing a general sort of guide, I guess you can say, of a face. Now, I do firmly believe that at the beginning of your sketchbook, you should have these pages that are dedicated to helping you throughout the rest of the sketchbook. So what I mean by that is you should draw some, or spend a couple pages, like spend a couple hours just working on these sort of reference guides that you can later look back on as you progress through your sketchbook. So what I like to do is I like to draw guides for faces, for angles of the head, also for bodies. You may have already seen a little bit of this in my mini sketchbook tour that I did a few weeks ago. And by creating these sort of guides, you can then, when you're drawing further down the line and you get stuck with something, you can then just refer back to some of the early guides that you created. And this will just help you get inspired and also push sort of the drawing that much further. So you just have things to rely on, and you just set up your own rules at the very beginning of your sketchbook. So in this example, I'm focusing on the front view and just doing some proportion work for a female face. I can also expand later down the line by having pages that are dedicated to the 3/4 view or the profile view for the female face, and then also for the male face. And you can go a step further by doing things for children, teenagers, and or elderly people. And this is just like, these sort of pages are super, super helpful to refer back to later on when you're drawing these sort of characters. For number 5, it does tie in with number 4, and this is just taking it one step further and creating a different type of guide. So this is another example of what you can do, and this is just playing around with head angles and just really just getting down to the fundamentals of the basic head shape and how it will look like on your page as you're sketching it out in different angles. So either you have the front facing view and then the 3/4 profile, and then you do the exact same exercise with the head angled a little bit upwards as if the person is looking towards the sky, and you do the exact same, front facing, 3/4, and profile. And then the last point is also if the character was looking down a little bit. So if the angle of the head was a little bit downwards, You then sketch it out again with the front view, 3/4, and the profile. This is a super fantastic exercise that you can do, and it's also a super helpful guide to look back on later on when you need to draw a character that has a unique angle of their head. And that's basically everything. I hope that these 5 ways to fill your sketchbook, or 5 ideas for your first 5 pages in your sketchbook, will help you in the near future. Please let me know in the comments below if you like these ideas, and if you're already doing them, and if it's already helping you. Let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you do like it, and don't forget to subscribe for more art videos and live streams and general product reviews. I'd like to thank you guys all for watching. Thanks again for all of your support. I am very grateful, and we will see each other next time. Don't forget to sign up or set a reminder for the live stream for next Saturday. We'll be doing another Sketchbook Slam live stream. That being said, bye guys!